Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 1/13/25 City Council meeting, the first one of the year, and boy, was it one for the books.
Yeah, it was. We had a good turnout for our group. This was our 11th City Council meeting. We've been attending faithfully since August. Today this was our first meeting after the tornado had hit the square and the snowstorm that had come in. So we had our Athens Main Street representatives coming in. We had county commissioner. We even had Chris Anderson. Him and his wife were there. I guess since he decided to step down from the library board, he wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be any negative remarks that were made about him, because there's been quite the comments made about his questionable work, I guess you could say.
He's been a very busy man. At least he got one thing off his plate, so maybe he can get back to focusing on what he needs to be focusing on.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things that have literally mentioned the last few city council meetings, and one of the other guys that attends, he always asks if we can have like more information, like a read ahead, because these agendas.
Just go ahead and read one.
Okay, yeah. So these agendas are just not very detailed. So for example, it's like resolution concerning a small economic development project in downtown Athens. And that's an item for Mayor Marks and Shane Black, city attorney. Now, Shane Black is also the president of Athens Main Street. So I got up and asked, like, is this item for Shane Black as the city attorney or Shane Black as the president of Athens Main Street? He didn't give a solid answer other than saying that this was for Athens Main Street, like, development. And then I was like, okay, but like how much money and like for what businesses are we doing this for? And they mentioned that it was for like Bean Beans and the Cigar Lounge, which I don't have any problem that any money is going for them, but it was like, who's paying for this? Is it Athens Main Street? Is the city of Athens giving them money? And Bean Beans was getting like $4,500, and the Cigar Lounge, I think, was getting like $3,000 and something. And so then another one was...
Well, hold on a second. It was kind of funny that the Cigar Lounge guy was actually there, and he spoke about the condition of the lights. And he gave a surprising stat that over 70% of his clientele were women, which was kind of surprising, but hey, whatever. And he said that he was concerned about their safety, considering there was one light out of 14 working on his block, which is right off the square. And he was asking the whoever, whether it be the mayor or one of the city councilors, to look into that and rectify that, because he was concerned about their safety. But again, it seems to follow the same trend of, my goodness, you have to call them out to get anything done. And it's kind of like, when do people get tired of calling them out to get things done? When are we going to get some people in there that just do what needs to be done and don't have to be called out?
Right. It's almost like if any other business, I'm trying to think if it was, I don't know, if it was another business that was part of the elite, those lights would have never been out on the street. And the fact that he had to come to city council and ask them to replace them,
he is part of the elite. He's part of Athens Main Street.
But he's not part of the elite.
Oh, you're talking about directly around the square?
Yeah, right.
He's just right off, it's a little bit...
No, I'm just talking about, like, involvement. That he's not, like, the direct, like, he's not the elite crowd of Athens Main Street.
Well, you notice when you got to our coffee the other day, your very excellent coffee, as you said, the coffee off the square?
Yeah.
The buildings, and it had a wonderful view of the back alley of... the buildings right off the square, and apparently they put all the money in the front and not in the back. They look pretty rough. I mean, if I was that business, I'd have to say something like, guys, can we tidy up a little in the back too? That's my view.
That coffee off the square was phenomenal. I can't even remember which one I got, but it was very good. I haven't tried one of the crepes yet, but the coffee was phenomenal. So that was one of the things, and I don't understand why, like, and then they read these resolutions and then they don't put the numbers in here. So it's the very thing like that they're using our city dollars to pay for. And so here's another one. Resolution to enter into an agreement with Gonzalez Strength and Associates for the purpose of engineering services for the preparation and plans for French Mill Economic Development for the design and construction of infrastructure improvements for Mooresville Road at 72 to turn lane improvements and the U.S. Highway 72.
You know, it just sounds like you said a lot, but it's not really a lot. It's a lot of words, but it's not a lot of, explanation on that.
That's where the new Publix is going.
Exactly. Why don't they just say that?
And then they were saying, I didn't realize this, but Chuck said that Bill Ming is like part owner or is part of that development.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard his name on. I know he did the other two, but I hadn't heard anything about him on this
So he was saying that behind the Wendy's that it was originally somebody else, and then all of a sudden Bill Ming came in. So it's almost like if somebody else comes in, he buys his way into it. So that was what I don't know for certain. The city's not confirmed that. That's just what one of our guys said tonight, that Bill Ming is on that new development. But I find it ironic that the city is putting $58,000 into the engineering services for the preparation and plans for the economic development. So that's another $58,000. They didn't put the amount in there. Remember, that was something that they said. So they give all this just very generic information on the agenda, and then they slide in the other information. So another one was the resolution to enter into agreement with Morrell Engineering for the purposes of engineering services for the preparation and plans for the boardwalk that they're tying to the proposed pedestrian bridge on 31. And the engineering design is $15,000.
No, that's just to design it. That's not even to build it.
Well, they're not, and they're acting like they're going to go and apply for grants for it too.
Which is amazing. They can do that, but they can't do the Strain Road sewer situation. Right. But we can do that on a footbridge to nowhere.
Yeah.
As Bart would say,
it's
the bridge to nowhere.
It's the irony. Okay, so this was an interesting one too. The resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Mercer Group Associates to conduct executive search services for the City of Athens Public Works Director position. They are allocating $18,000.
Say that again?
Yeah, for the mayor.
No, was that $18,000?
$18,000. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Mercer Group Associates to conduct executive search services for the City of Athens Public Works Director position. So
hold on. That was a lot, but not a lot. So you're telling me that the City of Athens is going to hire an outside firm to hire somebody at $18,000. So we're saying, do we not trust ourselves enough to...
it's almost like the mayor
to hire somebody? Or maybe, as I was telling somebody tonight, maybe he wants to use an outside firm. That way, if this person doesn't work out, or if they do something that's, the public doesn't like, and he's got to throw his hands up and say, I didn't hire him, the firm did.
Who knows? But it's just crazy that there's $18,000.
Woo.
So
I guess that's why our property taxes have doubled. I don't know. Between that and all the abatements given out left and right.
Abatements and incentives.
I know, right? That's goodness.
Crazy. So another thing was they are hiring like 10 new positions. And again, it was just resolution to adopt an organizational chart for the city clerk treasurer, Annette Barnes. Ordinance amending to add job titles of measurement and operations superintendent, construction operations superintendent, and to delete the job titles. And then there was a list of about 10 new jobs that they were adding. Again, those descriptions were not in here.
Descriptively undescriptive, right?
Right. So that was really, let's see. That was really about it for agenda items. But again, the highlight on the agenda is that it's not detailed enough. They don't like you to ask questions about it. I have asked several times to please provide information beforehand. You know, Mr. Marshall has, every time that I've been there and he's got up and spoke, he always asks that. Can you please add a link when you put the agenda out to add more detailed stuff? And it's almost like they're trying to hide something or cover up, or they don't want the public to know
exactly what's going on.
They just want everybody to be like, oh, we're in charge, like we're doing everything that's right. And now, starting the new year, we go into asking, can you please cut on the live stream
back
on, because they turned them off a couple months ago. The mayor just decided it was for the best interest, that this covered this just covers like the business aspect of it, that the public doesn't need to know
what the public is saying.
The public is saying, right? Because like, it's ridiculous the times that these city council meetings are at.
And he just unilaterally made this decision, apparently, because I asked directly. I've asked several times, but it's almost like Harold Wells woke up and like, what are you saying? So it was crazy that we're asking questions about it now, and it's like, haven't you been here the rest of these meetings? Like, it's been cut off for months now, and I've been saying the same thing every time, and it's, why would you not want the public comments on there unless you were afraid of what the public was saying? At least that's what it looks like to us.
Right. So we had several people that got up and spoke in the public comment section tonight.
Which we're having to record.
Right. So we're having to record individual people getting up and posting them, because they're hiding it.
Otherwise, there's no record of it. It's like it didn't happen.
That's what the mayor wants. He doesn't.
And I also called him out about his little minute with the mayor. And the thing about it is, he was like, "Oh, we're doing all these great things, and we want your comments. We want your support." But the comments are shut off on that too. The comments are shut off on every social media avenue that the city's putting out.
And on the minute with the mayor, you can't even react to it unless it's like a thumbs up or a heart. Like, it won't let you thumbs down or mad or anything like that. So it's only positive engagement, but yet he wants people to ask questions. It's ridiculous.
His body language and everything else doesn't seem to be the case in the city council meeting now. Especially after our friend Chuck brought up the $1 million worth of dirt again. The mayor did not like that whatsoever, because last time when Chuck said that, the mayor said, "I don't have a clue what you're talking about." Chuck came prepared this time and brought the news article that 19 had done. I mean, kind of irrefutable evidence that that's exactly what happened. And I guess the city of Athens still doesn't have its dirt after the whole de-annexation debacle. I mean, that we could probably do a whole episode on that.
And I'm sure the new 19, that was after a city council meeting that was decided on.
Exactly. And it's fact checked. It's not like they're just putting out fictitious stuff.
It's not like Chuck just like made it up.
Exactly. But they would like for him to think he made it up.
Chuck also brought up the lawsuit that was filed over off of Luke and Strain.
That was a couple days ago? Last week. Last week.
Yeah. So the first week of January, there was a
federal
lawsuit that one of the residents off Luke Street, which Luke Street runs into Strain, which I'm sure you've heard now over the past few months that we've been doing these, that Strain Road has got severe sewage issues. It's prime real estate off Highway 31. and close to 65. I think that they have bigger plans for that area. It's not somewhere that they want to invest in the infrastructure there. The irony is that off of 31, turning on Strain Road, there's like several brand new subdivisions with brand new houses. They don't have any sort of like...
I'm sure they got brand new sewer system.
Right. And so Chuck also brought up tonight about the Luke Street.
The flooding.
And
they're acting like this is new or something.
Yeah, and the article...
He's like 65, which divided Strain Road on both sides, has been around 50, 60 years now. So this is not a new issue. So please don't act like it's a new issue. These problems didn't just happen overnight. They've been happening the whole time. And it, again, what I've said, a concurrent theme with the city of Athens is they don't do anything unless you call them out and hold their feet to the fire. And I guess that's a good across the board for any politician. You will do this. We are the people. We're in control. You work for us. And it's crazy how easily they forget that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that anybody in Athens has ever questioned them or questioned them long term.
It doesn't seem like it.
Because as soon as Chuck started talking, he was like, I came to a lot of meetings in 2021, and then I started listening to him, and the mayor had the audacity to be like, that was 3.5 years ago.
Exactly,
like,
and you still haven't done anything.
And that's what Chuck was like, yeah.
Like, why are you still the mayor? Like, what are you doing?
So just because people go away doesn't
calling out your own ineffectiveness.
Right.
Great job there.
Right. He's just so rude. The mayor is so condescending. And then we go into...
Well, I think we got to talk about our buddy Mark and how he just totally... Anytime Mark gets up there and talks about anything, he just totally talks down to him, doesn't want to listen to him. I mean, it's even worse than what the reaction to Chuck.
Oh, he's very rude to Mark. He is very rude. Mark has been...
fighting this for 25 years.
It is ridiculous.
I mean, if anything, the man ought to get a key to the city and be the marshal in the parade or something for this crusade he's been on. I mean,
he has been fighting these dilapidated houses by our slumlords in the city. He has been fighting money that has been given to the city by the state for... roads
for North Athens.
Because North Athens, that is his district. He has kept up with the money that the city or that the state has given them, and
they're just not doing what's
he's
right.
He's tried to hold them accountable for what this money was allocated to. He's been to he's not to Washington. He's called Washington, but he's been down to Montgomery several times to be like, they were supposed to do X, Y, and Z with this money, and it still isn't done. He has been...
Or they're only kind of halfway doing, and it's almost like the state's not even checking up on them. It's like, what, the state's just giving them this pot of money, and then nothing is even getting checked up on.
Well,
it's the
funny
craziest
you always
thing.
say, you're like, I always thought that if I did wrong, that I'd get in trouble for it. You thought it'd be
exactly. Yeah, I thought it'd be a lot harder for people to get in trouble. I know if I did it I would get in trouble. You know why? Because I'm not in the political establishment. I'm not in the select few. So that's exactly what they would crucify me on the courthouse steps.
Yeah. So then Elizabeth Stewart got up and talked. So this was the first city council meeting after the library board resolution, after that came to fruition. And that was another thing too, was that they thanked everybody for all their hard work. And Elizabeth was like, you all want to give your, self accolades basically. And this was really a governor direction. The governor told us to do this. This was to protect our schools or our children in libraries. This wasn't hard, but this was guidance per the governor. And the fact that Athens City did not want to follow it was ridiculous, and that they were again forced. Their hand was forced. They had to do it.
I was going to say, wait a minute, what am I hearing again? Forced. The city of Athens was forced to do the right thing.
And then every time when they're forced to do something, and they are like, oh, that was the right thing, well, then they want a pat on the back. It's like, why did you make us fight this for 2 years?
Oh, we're going to give a slow golf clap for you doing the right thing. Like, no, thank you. If you're forced to, you don't get any credit for it. At least that's how I see it. I don't know.
Then there was another man. He's new. This was his first meeting. He acted like he was going to start coming regularly. He said he's been to a few in the past, but he didn't realize that people came to these meetings and literally did not get answers. He came and talked to us when it was over and was like, you brought up a good point. And even when he got up and asked the mayor, like, what's your process on answering questions? The mayor couldn't. One person said it was an informal thing. You just make an appointment with the mayor. And then somebody else told him that it was the formal process. You have to do X, Y, and Z. So he even came to the conclusion they have no idea what they're doing and they have no process with what they're doing. And then I'm trying to think who else got up and spoke. I guess we can go ahead and talk about you when you got up there and Mr. Wells decided to go off.
I mean, I don't know. He basically insinuated that we, anybody and everybody. No. That we should submit our questions beforehand, where they could be prepared or something like that.
No, you need to tell the whole thing that you got up there and you're asking about the Alabama Attorney General.
Yes, I have my list of things now. We talk about the Alabama Attorney General opinion and them trying to, again, have to hold their feet to the fire. They're trying to get some cover on that, and we'll see how that plays out for them. I asked about the comments being turned off, but this time I didn't just ask the mayor. I directed it at the council and said, are you guys okay with him turning? He freely admitted again he did it on his own. So I turned and looked at the council and said, are you guys okay with this? And the only one to respond was Mr. Wells, and it was kind of like he was almost like attacking that. It's like, that's when I said earlier, like, did you just wake up? This has been going on for months, and I've been talking about it for months, and why all of a sudden are you just acting like this is the first you're hearing about it and don't have an opinion on it? Well,
and I really do like Mr. Wells. He's actually probably my favorite councilman.
He's been the only one that's ever, like,
shows any sort of emotion and
anything. Yeah, I give him credits for that.
And three of our councilmen are 80 or older. They have said that they're not going to run for re-election. But I know that the way that I interpret this is that the duration of Mr. Harper and Mr. Wells, which they've been there like 10 years or something like that, and then Mr. Lucas has only been there since 2020, but they've probably never come across people like us or this group that we have that come and attend regularly now, and they probably don't know how to really receive us. We don't question them negatively. We just question the city and the decisions, and we're like, we want to know what this money is being spent on. What's the plans here? Can you do this? Because it's a pattern on the people that they give tax abatement to, people that they give these incentives to. You're part of the Good Old Boy Network, and it's very obvious very quickly when you're not part of that. Again, Mr. Wells is probably my favorite. I commend him for even having any passion behind it, and I don't even think he intended for the hypocrisy in what he said to Jared, but when Jared asked, like, what's the status of the Alabama Attorney General opinion that they're trying to not provide inspection reports, which it's very clear that you have to provide inspection reports. It's public information. And so they submitted that 6 weeks ago now?
It seems like it, or longer.
It's been a while. And then, he goes down, he just blatantly asked the mayor, like, hey, it's a brand new year. Can we start off on a new foot? Can you turn the public comments back on? And the mayor was completely dismissive and was like, no, and I told you I'm not doing it, and I told you why. And then Jared turned it to the council and said, are you okay with
your
him
mayor
silencing the public? And Mr. Wells was like, if you've got things that you want to talk about, you need to submit it to us before so that we can read ahead. And, Jared was kind of caught off guard and was like, okay, cool, note taken. We will get a list to you before we want on the agenda, which means they can't cut off public
That comment. Is true. Well, that part will be filmed.
Because now that may be the double-edged sword, because it's going to be an agenda
item. Yeah.
But yeah, so then, I spoke during agenda items. So I could technically get up again and speak, but I didn't want to. But when Jared said that, and then that was Mr. Wells's response, like I had to get up and follow up and say, tell Mr. Wells, like the complete hypocrisy there. You all won't provide us a read ahead on items on the agenda, spending my tax dollars, but yet you want us to send you things that we want to talk about. I mean, if you will give us information on the agenda items, we'll be happy to provide you, but don't come in here and act like that we're in the wrong for having questions during public comments and then wanting to cut off the live stream. So yeah, it was a very, very interesting. It was probably one of my favorite ones to date.
Very good start to the year.
Yeah. Happy 2025.
And as they say, they just don't know what's coming.
Yeah,
so we're gonna keep them on their toes till it's election time.
Municipal elections, August 25th, 2025, and the
wait.
Countdown is on.
It's gonna be a great summer for some people, at least.
Yeah. So happy New Year, everybody! Thanks for listening in, and until next time.
Thank you. Bye.